Hi, I'm Boeni. I'm the primary contributor just to this Google Notebook, and I just wanted to just give you just a quick rundown of this. My main interests are within sport, and I find Google's models just really interesting in the sense that they have a 2 million context window, and they're truly multimodal in the sense that you can upload videos and you can prompt them to give you something specific about what you want to see within a video. Now, videos are very, very long, and the video that I'm dealing with over here is 600 tokens long. So it's a fantastic use case for Google's Gemini models. And what I'm essentially using the models to do is I'm generating specific types of, I'm getting the model to identify critical events, and then I'm generating specific types of narrations over the video, just using Google's TTS models and just also generating subtitles with OpenAI's Whisper and just overlaying all of that into like a new type of video. So you can think of it as like generating highlight reels with an AI generated highlight reels, kind of like Notebook LM. That's where I got a lot of my inspiration from. I find with dealing with videos is that it opens up a whole new ball game, or rather a lot more complexity in dealing with videos. Uh, when you wanna prompt Google's Gemini models, you first need to upload them to Gemini, the Gemini file API, and that has a 2 GB limit. So what you want to do is, if you're dealing with very large videos, is you probably want to reduce that by manipulating the frame rate, the resolution, and just taking out the audio if possible, right? So I managed to reduce a 5 GB file into about 300 megabytes. And once that is all done, that's when I pretty much upload the file onto Gemini, the file API, and then I create a cache. The video, as I say, we're dealing with like 600,000 tokens, nearly 700 tokens for a 43-minute video of a sports game between two teams in soccer. And the first thing that I do once I've cached the video, because we need to use caching because I'm going to be using the same model throughout the whole entire notebook. So I really want to take as much advantage of just the caching. And the first thing that I do is I generate a summary, and then I ask Gemini to identify 5 critical events throughout the whole video, and to give me the start, end, and the description of those events. Now, for the sake of time, what I'm going to do is I'm only just going to go through just the monologue. I've generated these 2 different types of workflows within this notebook. There's a monologue, and then there's a dialogue. And they all have very specific types of use cases. So what I do once we have the cache model is and just identify the events. This is where it gets really interesting, because now this is really now where you can just prompt the models to generate you a very specific type of narration that you want to hear for a very specific type of group. If you're dealing with athletes or coaches, they probably want something a little more tactical and something just to critique their form and just positions and just to improve. But you can also generate something for athletes, for fans, for something a little more entertaining. Right? So there's a lot of places that you can go, that you can do once you get to this part. And the most important thing here is to generate the narrations in SSML for the best possible experience, right? And once we have the SSML, we use Google's TTS models in order to create the audio. And now that we have the audio, well, now we can pretty much just overlay that audio on top of that event, right? So that's exactly what we're doing over here. We're just grabbing that audio that we generated, and then we're just overlaying it on top of the video. Okay. And then we use OpenAI's Whisper in order to generate just a transcription, and then we overlay the subtitles over that video, and that is pretty much what is going on over here. So that's pretty much the first example that the workflow that I wanted to go through. The dialogue example is pretty much the same thing, but what I really want to talk about here is that the general idea of this notebook is that you can go way beyond sports, right? You can tackle. Like what I've managed to do here goes way beyond what you can do within sport context. You can think about it from an educational perspective or whatever you want.
It's interesting to see how the white team is moving the ball up the field. They're being patient. They're looking for an opening. The red team is trying to put pressure on them, but the white team is doing a good job of keeping possession. However, are they keeping possession for too long? Notice how the red team is getting set in their defensive shape. It seems